A used minivan with 200,000 miles. Cassandra.
CarMax will buy it.
That's correct. The car you're driving now. Cassandra again.
CarMax will buy it.
You're on a roll. Any car at all, no matter what. Jerry?
Is the answer CarMax will buy it?
That's right. Because CarMax buys all the cars, no matter what. No questions asked. CarMax will buy it.
Get rewarded for saving money with Walmart Family Mobile. Pick up any unlimited plan and a phone price at $49 or more, and you'll get a $50 Walmart e-gift card. That's right, $50. Plus a whole lot of savings with Walmart's lowest price unlimited plans, powered by T-Mobile's nationwide 4G LTE network. Stop by and save, only at Walmart. Walmart Family Mobile. Get everything you love about Walmart in mobile. See terms and conditions at myfamilymobile.com.
You could win free fuel for a year in the Shell Great Gas Giveaway. Fuel Rewards members are automatically entered every time they purchase 8 gallons or more. And if you choose new Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, you get 4 entries. So, it's time to fill up for a chance to win. Not a member? To join, download the app or go to fuelrewards.com/win. No purchase necessary. Motion ends 9/1/19. See official rules at fuelrewards.com/win for how to enter by mail and all details.
Sarcoma. Odds are you've never heard that word before. For the 40 people diagnosed with sarcoma every day, it is a life-changing word because sarcoma is cancer. Through awareness, advocacy, and research, the Sarcoma Foundation of America is bringing hope to the families whose lives have been turned upside down by a cancer they had never heard of until diagnosis. Please join us in the fight to find the cure for sarcoma. For more information on the work of the Sarcoma Foundation of America, go to curesarcoma.org.
At the Home Depot, warmer days means it's time to add Vigoro-colored mulch to your landscape. Right now, get 5 bags for just $10. Vigoro mulch helps soil retain moisture and comes in shades of red, brown, or black. If you're looking for a healthier garden and more curb appeal, you're getting warmer. Today is the day for doing, with red, white, and blue savings on Vigoro-colored mulch, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Limit 60 per customer. Color selection varies by store. While supplies last. Continental U.S. only.
The following program, the Rewind Sports 60, is sponsored by Jerry Riles and, to the extent applicable, his guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
The Rewind
Sports 60. From the city of big shoulders, the jewel of the Midwest, comes a sports show that's one of a kind. From iconic players to iconic stadiums to iconic teams, this is my kind of town. Chicago! And the Rewind Sports 60 is my kind of show. From Air Jordan to Sweetness to Papa Bear Hallis, this city works hard, but plays even harder. Danny Carlino and Jerry Riles bring you the Rewind Sports 60. Live. The Rewind Sports 60 starts now.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. We're broadcasting live, streaming live on Facebook from the world's famous WCPT 820 AM studios in the beautiful, beautiful city of Chicago in Jefferson Park, right here on the north side, Milwaukee Avenue. This is another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. And let's get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. He's the one. He's the only. He's the Italian stallion. He's DC. He's Danny Carlino. What's up, Danny?
Good evening, Jerry. We're coming up on the 4th of July, and it looked, the clouds coming in, it looked kind of like Independence Day, the movie.
It did, man. It was pretty eerie out there. Really, really eerie. I don't know about your parts where you were earlier today during the storm, but out in the northern suburbs in the Wheeling area, and Marty-B, our man on the street, may be able to attest to this. The storm came through with a big wallop. There's no question about it. And once you got outside, you saw the branches and tree limbs and everything all scattered about on the streets and the lawns and in backyards, the whole 9 yards. So, and the city was out trying to clean up the mess, but the storm came through with a mighty, mighty bang. And just hopefully, I thought we were seconds away from losing electricity. I know 100,000 people in the Chicagoland area and surrounding burbs lost electricity, so ComEd is definitely out there. But we came close to losing it. But what a storm that came through the Chicagoland area. Ladies and gentlemen, not in Cincinnati, hurling for the first place Cubs for the time being.
Really?
He's in the studios. He's the marvelous one, Dan Marver. What's up, Danny?
Hey, it's great to be here. Actually, the Cubs are now in a tie with Milwaukee for first.
Yes, they are.
And with regard to the weather, I was just on the way over. I was going to take out the trash. Took it to that outdoor bin, and the outdoor bin wasn't there.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness!
But I found it.
I
found it next door.
Okay, at least you don't have to go down the block.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you hate when that happens. Yeah. The garbage can is all the way down the street, stopping traffic, and you got to run all the way down there and get it. I tell you, man, it's interesting. This weather in the Chicagoland area over the past month or so has been crazy as far as the rain. Now the heat, it's back and forth. And I know, I believe it was possibly Friday when it rained. Cheryl Scott, ABC 7 meteorologist, was forecasting that there was hail the size of golf balls in the southern suburbs around Kankakee, Joliet, golf ball size hail. And she said it will diminish to quarter size or nickel size within an hour or so. But I'm like, holy Moses.
Well, even the weather's nickel and diming us.
Yeah, exactly. And like you mentioned, it'll be July 4th, the 4th of July, and typically that's, summer's halfway done.
I believe they had some hail at Wrigley Field Wednesday. Actually.
Yeah, they certainly did. They certainly did. That's exactly right. And ladies and gentlemen, he could be on Lakeshore Drive. He could be over there on the south side on 95th Street. Or maybe on Halsted. Or maybe you may find him in Streeterville. Or maybe, just maybe, he was on Broadway on the north side. Maybe the River North area. But no, ladies and gentlemen, he's in the studios of WCPT 820 AM. He is the man on the street. He's Marty-B. What's up, Marty?
Hey, good evening, Jerry, Danny, and Dan. And it's great to be back here in the friendly confines of WCPT.
Well, you had to watch those words as far as friendly confines are concerned. There are a lot of Sox fans around here. They may not appreciate that.
Well, I'm always I always have a saying. I'm cordial, always very cordial to Cub fans, but I embrace Sox fans.
Well, you can always mispronounce it like my father does and call it the friendly compound.
Now that's pretty good.
How many T-shirts you could sell with that on there? Welcome to the friendly compound. What?
Exactly.
I like it though.
Next week you'll be able to.
Sox fans will be eating it up. That's for sure. No question about it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the fastest hour in sports conversation. We want you to be a part of this conversation. Our number here at WCPT 820 AM is 773-763. 9278 773 WCPT. Jerry Riles, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion, a marvelous one, and the man on the street. A lot in the world of sports that's taking place. Congratulations to the All-Stars on both sides of the city. The White Sox get 3 and the Cubs get 3. Congratulations. Now it's a matter of, the starters for name, right? Javi Baez and Wilson Contreras will be starters for the Cubs.
Correct.
And then for the White Sox, are there any starters, or are these guys are reserves?
No starters that we know of.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Giolito's going to be the starting pitcher. I think that's up to Alex Cora.
Yeah.
But then there's Jose Abreu and Brian McCann.
Yeah, congratulations.
Or James McCann.
James McCann.
I got my McCann. I knew I was going to do that. But for the White Sox, anytime they're not in contention and they get more than one, that's a feat.
No, it's
a meaningless game, but I mean, they have some good parts on the team. And I heard earlier in the week, Rick Hahn was quoted as saying, as far as how they are in the rebuild, we're at the end of the beginning. And I think that's a fair assessment. Other than the rash of injuries that have come in the last week, including Tim Anderson, who was on the verge of having an all-star appearance with his performance until he kind of had that little wipeout moment and that ankle sprain that resulted from it the other day. It's just they have some pieces in place. I hate to use the Dave Wannstedt allusion there, but it's just kind of the phrase that you use. But you get all the pitchers that are the budding pitchers that see. Tommy John, I know he played for the White Sox, but his name has never been mentioned as much in their pitching rotation as it has been the last 12 months.
I mean, let me tell you something. Tommy John, it's it's a part of being an athlete. I mean,
it seems like getting your tonsils taken out after a pitcher.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And we were talking before the show regarding, and congratulations, and what an outstanding time it was for all of those participating and celebrating in the Pride Parade today. We had a float. WCPT 820 was out there amongst the masses, and for the most part, I had the opportunity to watch briefly the Pride Parade on, I think it was ABC 7. Yeah, ABC 7, and Janet Davies and the great Terry Hemmert. Terry Hemmert of WXRT, they were the announcers for the event, and they did a fantastic job. I love Terry Hemmert. Had an opportunity to work with her for several years over at WSER The Score XRT / over on Belmont, and she is just she's a doll. She's a fantastic person and a fantastic individual.
Now, did she have a better parking spot than you?
She probably did. Yeah. There's
did
no
they
question
have parking
about it.
spots down there? Did you have to fight for street parking?
No, they actually had a big lot. The
Okay.
old place on Belmont had a big lot
Behind the
across
bunker?
street.
Oh, across the street.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
across the street. So if you couldn't, and it got to a point where people were parking on the side of the building, and sometimes people would double. Double, and so it was kind of difficult sometimes for people to get out of the parking lot if you parked on the side of the building. The parking lot itself across the street, in order to get in and out, you needed the receptionist, Loris Wallace, to push the button to open up the gate so you can get in and out.
Oh wow! And that was the day. That was the times before cell phones. So you gotta honk your horn. Oh, that's Jerry's honk. Okay, you can go in.
Well, actually, it was on the brink of
just the verge,
the explosion of the cell phones. Remember they had the big
the
brick
brick?
phones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Walter Payton played a practical joke on me. He took my brick phone. Remember when he was doing the racing thing after he left the game of football?
Yes.
And I think it was before he wanted to become owner of the Rams when they were down in St. Louis. And he was doing the coin, the racing. I don't know if it was NASCAR or whatever it was, but they were announcing the debut of his partnership and the vehicle over at the McCormick Place, and it was a winter outing, a winter day, and so I had my long coat on, and I had the brick phone in my pocket. So I go up to Walter and I say, "Hey, Walt," I say, "Is it okay we get you on the air? Few minutes, give me 20 minutes, half hour or so, we'll get you on the air." He said, "Okay, no problem, Jerry, just come find me." So 10, 15 minutes go by, and so getting close to air time to get him on the air. So I'm like, okay, I got to go get him. So I reach in my pocket to pull out the brick phone that I had, and I can't find it. So I started
That's a hard thing to lose.
Marty, I started panicking. Anxiety started overwhelming me. And I was like, oh, my God. I'm like, what happened? And the next thing I know, I hear this guy across the room. He goes, "Hey, Jerry! Jerry!" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You looking for this?" Walter Payton had pickpocketed me and took the brick phone, and he was just dying laughing because he was known as a practical joker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. But I'm like, "Oh, why you little rascal, you?" But he was great, and of course we got the interview and everything like that. But yeah, it was around the time with the brick phones coming out.
How do you? It's one thing to lose one of these. You just put it under a pillow. It's like, "Where's my phone?" And you have a heart attack. But that thing, you're like 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah. Well, I had on like a camo hair coat, so it was kind of a heavy coat.
Okay.
And I had the gloves and stuff inside the pockets there. But little did I know that Walter Payton was.
There was no Find My Phone app.
Yeah, I knew he was a practical joker, but not to that extent.
You didn't expect him to get you.
Yeah, he got me. Ryan Sandberg got me also one time. I had the recorder and the microphone, and we were waiting for everyone to come out. And, out of the shower after the game, the Cubs had won, and I had set my recorder down. I set it down on the table at Wrigley Field in the old clubhouse. And I think Gracie came out. People started coming out, and so I ran to get my recorder, so I thought. And I'm looking around. In a panic mode again, Danny Carlino. I'm looking around for this recorder. I'm like losing my mind. Ryan Sandberg said, "What are you looking for?" I go, "My recorder, man, where is it?" He goes, "You mean that one up there?" He had taken the recorder and the microphone and put it on top of the locker.
Just for safekeeping. He just want to see you go crazy. So now you know the pressure we feel when we're playing out there. So.
Yeah. I tell you, man. I can go on with all this stuff, man. I can go on.
Oh, yeah, Walter was incredible. People would call in, they'd ask for William Perry, and he'd say he's having his nails done.
He was quite a character. He's quite a character.
Yeah, he left us all too soon.
Yeah, he certainly did. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want you to leave us too soon. We want you to come on back. We're going to take a short time out. This is the Rewind Sports 60, WCPT 820 AM. Our number again, 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. Anything in the world of sports you want to talk about. The Chicago White Sox playing fantastic ball. They continue to strive toward that 500 mark, but they continue to teeter-totter. Once they get a game or two under, they fall back again, but they continue to climb. They continue to persevere. They continue to push. Let's hope that they can get the break during the All-Star. Well, let's hope they can take care of the Chicago Cubs when the Cubs visit them next week over at the rate. Cub fans, you guys are struggling also. Unbelievable. We can talk about the near brawl yesterday. Yasiel Puig. What are you going to hit me for on a 3-0 pitch? Why? Strophe. Bench is clear. Cubs get the victory, but they still struggled in the month of May. And, of course, the NBA free agency draft, ladies and gentlemen. All that coming up and much, much more right here on the Rewind Sports 60, the fastest hour in sports conversation. Keep it locked in. This is The Rewind.
You're watching the Rewind Sports 60. Go Bucks! Woo!
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout. So don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
The Rewind Sports 60 is brought to you by the Liquor Barn, located in Wheeling and Niles. Stop by 287 East Dundee Road in Wheeling or 8170 Gulf Road in Niles for all your wine and spirits needs. The Liquor Barn, located in Wheeling and Niles. And remember, tell Marcel and Tom in Wheeling that the Rewind Sports 60 told you to stop in and say hello. Mention the Rewind Sports 60 and receive a free gift.
Go, Ella!
Way to hustle, Jen.
Our daughters live for sports.
Hey, their dentist told them your smallest piece of equipment may be your most important.
Now they always wear mouth guards.
Yeah, mouth guards help protect against broken teeth, head injuries too, like concussions.
All from a little mouth guard.
They're small, but mighty.
Just like our kids.
Talk to a Chicago Dental Society dentist. Visit cds.org/mouthguard. Sponsored by the Chicago Dental Society, aired in cooperation with this station.
The Rewind Sports 60 is brought to you by Serenello's Ristorante Italiano. Inspired by his travels and passion for Italy's culture, executive chef Michael Bonner has created a broad menu of Italian fare, utilizing the freshest ingredients to create the fullest flavors to bring homemade, handcrafted pizzas and pastas, as well as prime steaks and fresh fish dishes to the table. Feel the energy while dining in a casual and rustic setting. Dine at natural reclaimed wood tables surrounded by inviting darker woods, exposed brick beams, subtle filament lighting, and accented with muted chocolate and caramel tones throughout. An impressive 50-foot bar lines an entire wall with seating for all. The perfect place to relax, eat, and drink with their family and friends. Serenello's Ristorante Italiano is located at 601 North Milwaukee Avenue in Wheeling. Tell them the Rewind Sports 60 told you to stop by.
Hi, I'm Liz Nicholson Sullivan. As the wife of a 9-year NFL veteran suffering the long-term effects of untreated and undiagnosed head injuries, I know how dangerous concussions can be. The Concussion Legacy Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to keeping kids safe in sports. Their Team Up Speak Up program teaches kids to speak up to a coach or athletic trainer if they think their teammate might have a concussion. Whether you're a parent, coach, or athlete, you can make a difference. Join me and sign up at teamupspeakup.org.
The Rewind Sports 60 is sponsored by Bazaar World. Stop by Bazaar World in Niles, celebrating their grand opening with a huge sale. Hats, gloves, belts, rings, bracelets, necklaces, and much, much more. The largest jewelry and accessory store in the Chicagoland area. Bazaar World, located at 8526 West Gulf Road in Niles, near the corner of Milwaukee and Gulf. Bazaar World in Niles. Stop in and say hello to Alex. Mention the Rewind Sports 60 and receive a free gift.
If it's Chicago sports you want, you're in the right place.
Hello, Chicago!
The Rewind Sports 60.
That's the best in the city of Chicago.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60 live with the best sports panel in Chicago. Lock it in.
Yes! Yes!
He drops the ball.
That ball hit hard, deep, way back. He looks up, you can't put it on the board. Yes! Yes!
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rewind Sports 60, the fastest hour in sports conversation. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, the Italian Stallion, DC, Danny Carlino, Marvelous One, Dan Marver, and, of course, the man on the street, Marty-B, will be catching up and letting you know what's going on in and around the Chicagoland area. Before we went to the break, we talked about the dismal I said May. They had a bad May, but they had a bad June. The Cubs, they is who we're talking about. And Marvelous One, I don't know, man. I we joke and say, hey, Marvelous, maybe the Cubs could use him and put him on the mound because they're using Caratini and everyone, anyone, the peanut vendor, the beer vendor, Marvelous One.
Ronnie Wu was going to start batting.
Yeah, he's going to start batting. But I don't know, Marvelous. You tell me, do you think this Cub team, the way that they're struggling, and it almost seems like, regardless if they're at home or on the road, that they just simply can't find consistency in their play.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. I mean, this was their first losing month since May of 2017, which is pretty good. That's the second longest streak since the dark ages of 1906 or 09 or whatever it was. But the thing is that right now, if they can get a lead late in the game, they've got it set up now, Cechek, Strope, and Kimbrel. So, I mean, I think that they're in pretty good shape if they get a lead. That's the question. They need to have a little bit more offense.
But that's the thing. And Danny Carlino, you tell me what your thoughts as far as the Cubs are concerned. It seems like they can't do it consistently. They can get leads, and Schwarber, it's one or the other. Either he's going to hit a long homer or he's going to fly out or, ground out or whatever. It's no consistency. And I think the important part, especially in the second half, and I understand people love home runs and, Major League Baseball with what people question them as far as what they did with the baseball or didn't do with the baseball. Whatever the case may be, I think the second half for the Cubs and Joe Madden, they're going to have to start to figure out how to play a little bit more small ball. They're going to start to have to figure out how to play station to station because you can't, as they say, the old saying goes, you live by the long ball, you can die by the long ball as well. But I think they need a little bit more consistency and they need run production. They need one or two guys coming in as opposed to one solo.
Danny and Jerry, they miss Zobrist in that regard.
Well, I mean, he was obviously their most versatile player in the field. And certainly, probably, I would say their most professional hitter,
right?
Because he was always around 300.
Yeah.
So he, not always the power, but enough power. He was always a threat to start something or to drive in a key run. And just, not even if it was an injury, even it might be easier because it's been personal stuff, and they didn't know how long it was going to be, and they still don't know what the ramifications and how long it's going to be. So it's a big question mark. And as far as them being better set up pitching wise, first of all, they have 3 All-Stars. Obviously, not a surprise, none of them being on the pitching side because some of their better pitchers have been injured. Lester had a time on the injured list, and Hendricks is just about to come off. Hamels is about to go on. He pitched an inning yesterday. Friday. And another thing too, we talk about the consistency. Okay, so they struggle. They get behind early. They struggle. They lose. They score 6. Hayward is probably their best overall hitter right now, which is not a good thing. It's a good thing that he's doing as well as he is, but it's a bad thing that he might be your biggest pop right now.
Right.
And the thing with Schwarber being the leader, didn't we do this 2 years ago? He's not batting 170 like he was when they sent him down to Iowa, but
exactly.
It's really not. Short of the leadoff home run, he's really kind of useless in that spot.
Other than putting Almora there, what else other options do they have?
Well, that's what I mean. That's one thing that I think people have been talking about ever since the World Series years. Like, are they ever going to commit to this guy?
To who?
To Almora.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good fielder and a good enough hitter. Are they ever going to commit to? And he's the closest thing they really have to a leadoff hitter who could play pretty much every day. But Joe Madden refuses to do so.
It makes no sense to me, and I call for this guy. He's one of my favorite players on the team, Almora Jr., and I said he should have been playing center field 2 years ago. And all the time last year, you talked about. You're right, Danny, when they said, "Hey, we need a leadoff guy. We're going to put Schwarber there, and then we're going to put Rizzo there and see how he does, and we're going to put this guy." I'm like, no, stop it. This guy can play center field every day for you, and he can be your leadoff guy every single day, and you won't miss a beat. They finally, for some reason, figured it out. Let the kid play. Just let him continue to play because he, in my opinion, is a spark plug for the North Side as the baseball team there, and he's one of the guys that we talk about station to station. He's the guy to jumpstart that offense, in my opinion, and he can move from station to station. I don't know how you would rate him as far as a base stealer is concerned, but at least he's a threat.
To get on.
Exactly.
You can't steal until you get on.
Right, exactly.
You can't steal when you hit a home run. It's nice to hit a home run, but you can't steal when you do that. You can't create havoc. And I'm not saying he's the prototypical leadoff hitter, but he's the closest thing they have on their 40-man roster.
Exactly.
And I think that's another thing with Zobrist being out. Sometimes he would fill in, and he's a guy that gets on base. And
right now, they actually only have 3 bench players is another issue because they added 2 pitchers when they got rid of Gonzalez the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't much wiggle room there.
So did they actually have to pay him? What was he on the roster for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I barely knew they signed him, and then there's a deal. I'm like, what?
Right.
So much for that.
The Cubs losing ways. They dropped one to the Cincinnati Reds on Sunday, 8-6 in Cincinnati. They're 5-5 on their last homestand at Wrigley Field. Dropped 5 straight sets in the month of June, 14-15 during the month of June. And of course, we know what happened in May. So this team, it looks good on paper, as they say, Marty-B. Looks good on paper. And Marvelous One, you said it. They're tied for first in the division, but everyone in the division kind of are struggling, so to speak. It's like when one team loses, all the other teams lose as well. So no one's really making much ground right now.
I mean, the Cardinals are 3.5 out, and the Pittsburgh 5, and Cincinnati 5.5.
Yeah.
Well, the Cardinals, what were they, like 22-10 to start the year? And obviously the Brewers are really good the first week and a half, and the Cubs were 3-8.
Mm-hmm.
And someone's going to get in by process of elimination here, by rule, not necessarily by earning it, if you want to put it that way. It's just this division is every bit as competitive as we thought it would be, but just nowhere near as good.
But you do have the Kimbrel and Hader as the closers now for those 2 teams.
Exactly.
So that might be an advantage because St. Louis lost their closer to injury.
But Kimbrel certainly looked every bit of the playoff Kimbrel of last year in his first outing at Wrigley. He got the save, but he got the benefit of a couple of calls.
That play by Rizzo was magnificent.
Yes, he saved the tie ball.
Beautiful.
Kimbrel forgot to cover first.
Exactly.
Because I haven't played in a year, almost. It seems like that.
Oh, I'm supposed to go over there? Oh, I'm sorry.
He's like the maid. I don't do windows. I don't cover first base. You do
Real quick before we go to a Gabe Salgado TR60 scoreboard update from the rate. What did you guys think about the near brawl where Strope hits Puig in the thigh area on a 3-0 pitch in the 8th inning with the team down 6-0? Was it 5-0 at the time? What did you guys think of the near?
Puig is kind of a goofy guy. He kisses the bat and everything.
You think
he licks the bat?
You think he's kind of goofy?
So, he's kind of goofy. So on 3-0, I mean, you look at the game situation. It's 5-0, and it's 3-0. I mean, if it had been 1-2, it's a different thing. Like the guy got hit today at 1-2,
right?
So it's a whole different story. But 3-0, I mean, there was more talk about it afterwards than it was a typical baseball fight,
right?
Where there's
a near fight,
where they're standing around,
hold me back,
shouting at each other. But when Stroop called him stupid in the post game, that was probably the biggest.
So when do they play again?
Well, they play at least 2 more series.
Yeah,
because they played only once in Chicago and twice there, so they have 3 more series.
He's stupid. Oh my God, unbelievable!
He lost his aim with the hat on sideways. I think he just hit him in the butt.
I mean, Strope will never have to bat, so that's probably what part of this.
Yeah, who would you have taken in that fight?
Oh, Yasiel Puig.
You have to. Just because he's a nut.
But by then, Rizzo and Contreras were already closer than Strope. So
I'll tell you one thing: no one's going to get in a licking better than Strope. What's his face? Puig. I forgot.
I love his new hairdo.
I didn't see it until he had his cap on.
What is he? The honey badger?
Yeah. Got something white, in the middle. I don't know what it is.
Something's going on there, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one, the only Italian stallion, the marvelous one, Dan Marver. The man on the street, Marty-B, coming up. Before we take our time out, we got to go to our first scoreboard update. We'll go out to Guaranteed Rate, our scoreboard guy. He is. Whoa. Gabe Salgado. Gabe, take it away, buddy.
TRS60 Sports Update.
Live from Guarantee Rate Field is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation. Right now, the White Sox are leading the Minnesota Twins 4-3 in the 8th inning. This game was slowed up by a near 3-hour rain delay. Lucas Giolito only lasted 5 innings as a result, but if the score holds, he will get the victory in his 4th win in his last 6 starts. Despite getting 6 runs over the final 3 innings, the Cubs just couldn't catch up to the Cincinnati Reds, who beat them 8-6. And the Cubs lose 2 of 3 during this weekend series. They did, however, get RBIs from Jason Hayward, Kyle Schwarber, and Albert Almora Jr. Chicago will be well represented in baseball's All-Star Game on July 9th as Javier Baez, Wilson Contreras, and Chris Bryant will represent the Cubs for the National League, while Jose Abreu, Lucas Giolito, and James McCann will represent the White Sox for the American League. NBA free agency begins this evening, and multiple reports say that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are planning to join the Brooklyn Nets together. So those developments over the next coming days should be interesting. And in soccer, Team USA plays Curacao in the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup in Philadelphia later this evening. This update from Guaranteed Rate Field is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation, MEF, empowering the next generation of leaders. For more, go to monstereducationfoundation.org. I'm Gabe Salgado, live from Guaranteed Rate Field for the Rewind Sports 60 and WCPT 820, Chicago.
You're watching the Rewind Sports 60. Go Illini!
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout. So don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
The Rewind Sports 60 is brought to you by Serenello's Ristorante Italiano. Inspired by his travels and passion for Italy's culture, executive chef Michael Bonner has created a broad menu of Italian fare, utilizing the freshest ingredients to create the fullest flavors to bring homemade, handcrafted pizzas and pastas, as well as prime steaks and fresh fish dishes to the table. Feel the energy while dining in a casual and rustic setting. Dine at natural reclaimed wood tables surrounded by inviting darker woods, exposed brick beams, subtle filament lighting, and accented with muted chocolate and caramel tones throughout. An impressive 50-foot bar lines an entire wall with seating for all. The perfect place to relax, eat, and drink with your family and friends. Serenello's Ristorante Italiano is located at 601 North Milwaukee Avenue in Wheeling. Tell them the Rewind Sports 60 told you to stop by.
Hi, I'm Liz Nicholson Sullivan. As the wife of a 9-year NFL veteran suffering the long-term effects of untreated and undiagnosed head injuries, I know how dangerous concussions can be. The Concussion Legacy Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to keeping kids safe in sports. Their Team Up, Speak Up program teaches kids to speak up to a coach or athletic trainer if they think their teammate might have a concussion. Whether you're a parent, coach, or athlete, you can make a difference. Join me and sign up at teamupspeakup.org.
The Rewind Sports 60 is sponsored by Bazaar World. Stop by Bazaar World in Niles, celebrating their grand opening with a huge sale. Hats, gloves, belts, rings, bracelets, necklaces, and much, much more. The largest jewelry and accessory store in the Chicagoland area. Bazaar World, located at 8526 West Gulf Road in Niles, near the corner of Milwaukee and Gulf. Bazaar World in Niles. Stop in and say hello to Alex. Mention the Rewind Sports 60 and receive a free gift.
Basketball, soccer, hockey.
When it comes to sports, my son is all in.
Football.
He always wears his mouthguard.
Lacrosse.
His dentist said the right mouthguard helps protect against broken teeth and head injuries.
Skateboarding.
Like concussions.
Ooh, wrestling.
Ask your dentist which mouthguard is best for your young athlete. And relax.
Bull riding.
A little.
Just kidding, Mom.
Talk to a Chicago Dental Society dentist. Visit cds.org/mouthguard. Sponsored by the Chicago Dental Society, aired in cooperation with this station.
The Rewind Sports 60 is brought to you by the Liquor Barn, located in Wheeling and Niles. Stop by 287 East Dundee Road in Wheeling or 8170 Gulf Road in Niles for all your wine and spirits needs. The Liquor Barn, located in Wheeling and Niles. And remember, tell Marcel and Tom in Wheeling that the Rewind Sports 60 told you to stop in and say hello. Mention the Rewind Sports 60 and receive a free gift.
If it's Chicago sports you want, you're in the right place.
Hello, Chicago!
The Rewind Sports 60.
That's the best in the city of Chicago.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60 live with the best sports panel in Chicago. Lock it in.
Ladies and gentlemen, lock it in for sure. Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60. Jerry Riles, the Italian Stallion, Danny Carlino, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, and of course the man on the street, Marty-B, coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Again, give us a call if you want to jump in, talk some Cub baseball, White Sox baseball, NBA free agency, ladies and gentlemen, or anything in the world of sports. Hey, if you want to talk women's soccer, we're here for you. Our number, 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT. And we weren't sure what was going to happen or if it was going to happen or when it was going to happen, but it has happened. According to reports from ESPN, that Kevin Durant has decided to ink a deal with the Brooklyn Nets. So he's leaving the Golden State Warriors, or some may call greener pastures. I think a 4-year deal for $161 million. Wow.
There's greenery in Brooklyn? You said greener pen.
Well,
that will help pay for the Achilles.
Hey, Danny, with $161 million.
Well, that's enough green for me. Yeah, that kind of green. Yeah,
it is now.
That kind of green. Yeah,
it is now. Marvelous one. What were your thoughts as far as hearing that blockbuster news come down earlier today?
I was surprised. Seems like Kyrie Irving might be going there too.
Yeah, he is. 4-year deal. I think $164 million.
So I mean, I didn't think they would. I mean, I thought maybe the Lakers or somebody like that, or the Clippers, but. Brooklyn wasn't one on my radar, but it happened. So I guess they're in the East picture, challenging Toronto next year. Once Durant is healthy, of course.
Well, yes, Durant, he's pretty much out for all of next year with his Achilles issue.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and if the Nets do follow through with the other big signings, I mean, I don't know if that makes them instant for next year, but it certainly takes away from the other big contenders in the league, and it's the balance of power. It doesn't takes two moves and the whole thing's upside down. So it's like, I think it's the as much as I don't, and it's always interesting during the off season who goes where, draft picks, things like that. But it's almost more like the season is decided more in the free agent is in the acquisition part of the year than it is during the actual when they're actually bouncing the ball. On the hardwood. Other than the surprise of injuries for Golden State, that was pretty much that's what turned the finals. But outside of that, I mean, the East was wide open. Why? Because LeBron left.
Right.
So that part was could be this, could be that. We thought Boston, then we thought Milwaukee, then it was Toronto.
Right.
Okay, then the injuries, Toronto won. But the West was like, it's Golden State. If the injuries would have happened, I mean, we were surprised at Golden State. They had injuries in the Houston series, but Houston being Houston, it was what it was. But now we see it might be more interesting next year now because the moves obviously have taken the injuries and the subsequent moves now takes away from Golden State, and then certainly the East has gotten changed again.
Yeah, it certainly has changed, but it's interesting to see, keep an eye on what's going to happen with the Brooklyn Nets because it seemed the reports out there that D'Angelo Russell, who was once a Laker, drafted by the Lakers, goes out to Brooklyn, has a fabulous season, and now the speculation is that the Lakers are interested in bringing him back. So that's going to be something to keep our eye on. But also, Kawhi Leonard is supposed, I think later this week, or in the near future, he's supposed to go out and meet with the Laker brass, including Magic Johnson.
Still?
Who stepped away,
yeah. I know, I just fired.
Yeah.
I mean, I quit. I mean, whatever. I got the statue outside. You want to see?
So, and the Lakers just cleared cap space now. What did they have? $31 million available now, I think, for
they got rid of half their team, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. So, with the acquisition of dealing with AD, Anthony Davis coming over there, of course, LeBron James, and the possibility of landing Kawhi Leonard would be very interesting. Now, it's narrowed down to be the Lakers or the Clippers for Kawhi, and, of course, Toronto. But that's a scenario developing right now as well as we speak to see what's going to, happen with those decisions. So the NBA, I'm not a real big NBA guy. The way the current situation is being held. But Danny, we talked about it before the show. It's definitely now is a players' league. I mean, they can dictate where they want to go, what they want to do, and collect the big dough. They can collect the big dough and
players coach, players get coaches fired.
Yeah.
Players recruit other players. You can't even call owners anymore. You can't. it's all about those the guys in the uniforms right now, and that's good, and it's also kind of weird.
It is good, and it is weird, and now these guys are getting together to talk about how they can build their brands even bigger, and of course the shoe deals that these guys are having as well. Is it New Balance that Kawhi Leonard is?
I hadn't heard, but they're certainly branching out from their original running. New Balance was pretty much a running thing.
Right.
And now they've gotten into soccer. Now they're getting more into basketball, a lot in baseball. In the last couple of years, we see a lot of guys with the N on their shoes. So it's they're branching out quite a bit. And when they get these other world stars like these basketball players, they're gonna be making some big bucks, and then making big bucks for their representatives.
But I got to give credit to Marty-B. He has been a longtime supporter of John Paxson and Gar Forman, and we joked about it. Marty said, "Hey, wait for the lottery and wait for the draft, because the Bulls, Pax and Gar, they got something up their sleeve." Now, fortunately for them, they were able to get the 7th pick, and they were able to get quite a good pick.
We got a doggone good pick.
Very, very good pick.
I was elated, Jerry.
So, Marty,
Danny and Dan.
Yeah, and you said there's more on the horizon for this Bulls
We've got
team.
several tricks up our sleeve. We're going to be very, very shrewd during this time of signing these free agents.
Now, Derrick Rose, marvelous one. And we're going to go to our phones real quick. 773-763-9278. Did he just think he's going to
Detroit? He's looking at
a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I know the Bulls. It was speculation that they were interested in bringing Derrick Rose back home. But Derrick Rose, congratulations to him. For signing a 2-year deal to play with the Pistons.
And the Bulls just signed Thaddeus Young today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's a new deal. 3-year, $41 million deal. So that's they're trying to get some veterans.
Yeah, they are.
31 years old.
Yeah.
12-year career.
Okay. 31-year-old bench player.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So I mean, they do need some other pieces. Too bad they can't sign Butler.
Now that's funny. That's funny. Let's go out to our phones and pick it up with Ed calling from what part of town in Chicago? Ed, where are you?
North side.
What's up? How you doing, buddy?
All right. Let me just tell you about this this move of Kevin Durant going to Brooklyn. To me, he's right back where he was at Oklahoma City. Now he's got Kyrie Irving. Before that, he had Russell Westbrook. Couldn't win with Russell. He won't win with Kyrie. What I think he's mad at Golden State. I think he felt they pushed him into getting into that championship when he wasn't ready. That's the only thing I can think of, because Brooklyn is going nowhere. And concerning Kawhi Leonard, if I was him, I'd stay in Toronto. He's proved he can win a championship. He doesn't need anybody. Stay where he's at. He's the king of that city. If he goes to the Lakers, he plays in the shadow of LeBron, and he's his own boss now, and he's the champion. I'd stay where he's at. That's what he should do.
I kind of agree with you. I think that that's where you staked your claim. The entire country loves you.
Yeah.
He can go. Not that he couldn't do it someplace else, but he can go any place and eat for free. All the restaurants say, hey, you win, you eat for free.
He would never have to pay for a coffee or donut at Tom Hortons ever.
No.
Free poutine from everybody.
No,
right. Like I'm saying, he's the king, and he can win a championship on his own. He needs nobody. And I'm not sure that the Lakers can win without him. So I would say this, that I'd say Toronto and Golden State right now, if Kawhi stays in Toronto, are equal the two best teams in the NBA. Even without KD, I say Golden State is still as good as Toronto.
Yeah, Golden State certainly they are very, very talented. Even though they're getting a little bit older, and Kevin Durant raises the level of professionalism and play for that team. They've won before without him. And Steve Kerr is a heck of a coach. He's a heck of a coach.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I said he wasn't that good. I'm wrong. He is a great coach. I apologize. He is a great coach. I said he's just average. No, he is a great coach.
Right.
I was wrong on that one.
Yeah. But you also have to understand, and again, the reason I'm not that big on what's going on in the NBA, this generation of players, is the fact that there's no dedication, there's no loyalty, and I understand.
It's a two-way street. The owners aren't loyal either.
That's true. And that's why I say I understand that. The owners aren't loyal or anything like that. The players have taken control over their careers, and I commend them for that. But, as far as a sports fan is concerned, we're an old school guy. We were spoon-fed. Hey, you go to this team, you play with this team, and your allegiance is to that team. And those players, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson,
Karl Malone,
Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, that's the generation that we came came up with where, hey, I was drafted by this team. They developed me, and I'm going to stick with them. Steve Kerr and Golden State, that's what they're trying to do as well. But nowadays, these players are, hey, you know what? I'm going to get paid. I'm going to bring my buddy over and screw this team, screw that team. And you see all this, musical chairs going on around the National Basketball Association. But these guys, they want to get home. Kevin Durant is from the New York area, and Kawhi Leonard is from the California area. So they want to get back to their places. Like Michael Jordan, he played in Chicago, as we know, but then he goes back to Charlotte. I understand going back home, but, I'm with you. Ed, I'm with you. If you've staked your claim, that's your team now. The Toronto Raptors?
That's right.
That is his team now.
And he's proven with no superstars around him, he can win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, take care.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Take care.
I have to correct myself. Malone played 1 year with the Lakers. Stockton played his whole career at Utah.
True, he did play.
That's true. That's exactly right.
He went there to win a championship, and they didn't win.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But no, it's the way of the future now as far as sports and the NBA is concerned. And it all started with LeBron James. As we well know, it all started with LeBron James. Incidentally, LeBron James has given up the number 23. He's going to go back to wearing number 6 as he did with the Miami Heat, and he's handing the jersey number 23 over to AD. So that's
that ought to do it.
That's pretty noble for the king.
Mm-hmm.
He understands because he's how old is he now? 31, 32. LeBron.
Right in there.
Somewhere around that. So he knows he's getting long in the tooth and he needs help.
He's got more miles, more NBA miles.
A lot more.
Than someone of his age.
A lot more. They certainly do.
I think we can just sum up about the NBA, and I certainly don't mean this disrespectfully in any way. The inmates definitely are running the asylum.
LeBron's 34.
You got to be careful. Somebody made that comment.
Well, he said asylum, though.
Yeah, somebody made that.
That was an NFL owner that kind of got.
Yeah, who was that?
I forget. Was it a guy from Tennessee? I think I want to say, or was it? I don't want to cast aspersions without getting it right, but yeah, it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, he sets the stage for.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. It's funny because you talk. If owners did kind of what the players are doing now, it would be collusion or tampering. When the players do it, it's like, it's good business.
Well, yeah.
I'm building my brand.
Well,
I want to get a chance. I want to play with my friends. I want to go home. Which all of it I understand, but it's different from the way people built teams in the past.
Right.
But it just the team built the team versus the player building a team, and it's just a different.
Well, the owners and the general managers actually did do what the players are doing now. If you remember when Kevin Garnett was in Minnesota, and we knew. I mean, it's a small market. Mid-sized market at best, and we knew that he was never going to win there. An exceptional talent. Well, Danny Ainge made a deal with who? Kevin McHale, who was
GM there.
The GM there. They made a deal to say, hey, you send this guy over to Boston, I got you next year or 2 years or the next 3 years. We'll help you do something with,
so
your
old
team.
teammates making a deal.
Old teammates, making deals. So, and we know what happened with the Boston Celtics. They go on to win the championship with Doc Rivers as the head coach.
Should have won too.
Yeah, they certainly should have won too. But hey, man, it's the way of the world now.
Hey, people and every other. See, in every other business, I mean, there are certain competitive rules in the sports business that is different than other businesses. Marty, you deal with a lot of business stuff with the way with what you're in, but it's not the same thing. There's no salary cap, and stuff like that. Whereas now, because everything is not just the competition on the field.
Well, you see it in business all the time. There's no loyalty anymore.
There's no loyalty, but I mean, there's also like people who maybe used to work together, but now they work for different companies or they work in different industries, but there's a connection somewhere. Well, I know you, so I'm going to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, we're playing for two different teams. McHale and Ainge played together. We're running two different teams, but okay, we have a relationship. Let's work together.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's business as usual,
yeah.
And now the players are controlling the business of the association, folks. Marty-B, man on the street. He's at the WCPT studios here in the great city of Chicago, Milwaukee Avenue. The man on the street. He's in the studio. What's up, Marty-B?
Well, Jerry, I just have to first just touch a little bit upon my experience of last weekend. And, of course, I was more than happy to acquiesce to Mr. Castle. What a terrific baseball historian.
Oh, he's the best.
And as you and I were mentioning yesterday, it kind of brought back memories of those wonderful luncheons I would enjoy. And I'm sure both of my colleagues on either side of me here remember Jerome Holtzman.
Yeah.
Oh, is he terrific? When he and I would get together on occasion and have some very meaningful lunches over at the Willow Inn Club. Oh, my gosh. That's where I learned a lot of my baseball history. But I had a very interesting conversation this morning, gentlemen, with a lovely lady. She's a doctor whom I had the pleasure of meeting last week. I believe I mentioned to our audience that there was a pain management program that, if they could fit into their schedule, would be a good idea for them to attend. Well, little did I know that one of the key doctors who spoke, Dr. Brooke Vanderby, was, in her younger days, and she's far from old, was an academic All-Big Ten soccer player at the University of Wisconsin.
Really?
During her undergraduate days. Dr. Vanderby, of course, she's an obvious fitness enthusiast. She loves spending time outdoors. We talked a little bit about women's soccer. And, Jerry, she is going to appear in person at our studio, gentlemen, next Sunday.
Really?
And she's going to kind of give a little recap on everything that's going on with women's soccer. And, Jerry, she is going to delve into the issue that you posed in our conversation about our esteemed president not wanting women in the soccer profession to receive the same type of a paycheck that the gentlemen do.
Yeah. He said, he basically, I paraphrase it, said, they don't bring in enough revenue to compensate, equal pay like the men do. So he feels that they don't deserve equal pay because they don't bring in as much money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I could tell from talking with Brooke this morning that she has some definite views on the entire matter.
Well, your president seemed to ruffle a lot of feathers.
Oh, and
he ruffles a lot of feathers.
Yes, he does, and he ruffles feathers that need to be ruffled.
Well, I don't know about that. You got some people that
And,
may not agree with that.
I am so proud. I stayed up all night. I was so proud of our president last night, the first president to be in the demilitarized zone and to really be the catalyst in really breaking down the walls that seem to exist between us, the rest of the world, and Kim
Marty,
Jong-un.
We hope.
Yeah, they denuclearized overnight.
Yeah, we hope. A, we hope, and B, hey, Dennis Rodman did it first. Since we're talking about basketball.
And I'm going to make, perhaps you'll all consider this an outlandish statement. What the president did within the last 24 hours has sealed the deal for 2020. That is my prediction.
I think the debates seal the deal.
Yeah.
They help.
Yeah.
They help.
Marty, he
Especially
said
with
there's no reparations for descendants of slavery. He said no. He goes, I don't think that's going to happen.
Unfortunately, it probably won't.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're absolutely right.
Really. But I think we've reached a point where, let's just do the right thing from now on.
It would be kind of hard.
From now on.
It would
Yeah.
be
Do the right thing from now on. All you people that we're in slavery and your descendants from that still affect us today, you know what? Sorry that happened, but moving forward, we'll try a little bit better.
It would be hard to keep. It probably would be hard to keep the books at that point. From that thing.
They said, I think they said $31.7 trillion if they paid out to the descendants of slaves.
Now, can you take that in one lump sum, or do you have to go over 30?
Hey man, let me tell you something. I'll take it any way I can get it. You kidding me?
How about reparations from the Germans for World War II?
There were some. From what I
There's all
understand.
kinds of things you
But,
could say.
As his president would say, I don't think that's going to happen. What else you got, Marty?
Yeah, well, definitely. One gentleman I really like to get on our show, and I think he'll definitely honor our request, is. Oh, I just love this gentleman. I've had a chance to meet him. He's a professor of political rhetoric. At Northwestern.
So it's BS, political rhetoric.
Oh, I guess you could maybe think of it that way. In some ways, he's over at Northwestern's Pritzker School of Law, and it's amazing. As I was watching last evening, Jerry, based on our conversation, started to watch the rewind of those, like our show, the rewind on those debates. And
did you watch it in English or in Spanish?
You mentioned Pritzker. Check your gas pump tomorrow.
Yeah.
Buy your smokes.
You better fill up now.
Today.
Fill up now.
You have till midnight.
Fill up your tank now.
Yeah, that's going up, isn't it?
No kidding. Yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah. And our colleague on the station here, Dick Kay, unfortunately, I had to go into another program and I couldn't listen to what he had to say. But it's Mr. Kay's feeling that it's going to be a lot more eventually than 19 cents.
Oh, no question about it. It's gonna be almost $2 with all the taxes that are going into it. It's gonna inflate $1.91. So gas will be, and I get premium, so gas is gonna be well over $5. I just got gas now. It was $3.49. It's $3.49.
Go to Lake County.
Yeah, I know. I go to Lake. Yeah, no, you're right. You go to Lake.
In your neighborhood, you.
Yeah, I do. I drive past Lake Cook Road. I go over to the BP or the Buc-ee's over there, or I go to the Shell.
I got Buc-ee's on McKee, right on Lake Cook Road there.
Or Woodman's has the best price though. Woodman's right off of Milwaukee and yeah.
What, are we looking for sponsors?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, real quick, Mark. Real quick. We're short on time, buddy.
Yes, yeah. But when when former Vice President Mr. Biden, when he made that statement, "Time's up," I was looking for him to elaborate. To me, that was just such an unfortunate metaphor that is just outlining his political career.
He was his own stopwatch.
Particularly since Harris was given 30 seconds.
But Jerry,
he was his own stopwatch. He's in mid-sentence and go, "Okay, that's it."
We want to mention this now.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, she was very engaged. I'm
Unbelievable.
extremely impressed. Whereas she was not being political, she was really being political, but she did it in such a tactful way.
She didn't worry about her time being up either.
No, she didn't.
She said they said you had 30 seconds.
One thing
I got 30 seconds for you right now.
And I've got to say this. I'll have more information next week, but the Business Ledger, which is a subsidiary of the Daily Herald, will be having 3 magnificent programs, and the first one, for those of our friends that are in the southwest suburbs, is going to be on July 11th. I will have more details next week, and before I forget, congratulations to our middle daughter, Belinda Cabendall, for receiving her degree, Master of Science in Data Analytics at Northwestern.
Congratulations. Wow, that's a very impressive. Marty-B, the man on the street. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the fastest hour in sports conversation. Thanks to Danny Carlino, the Italian stallion, the marvelous one, Dan Marver, the man on the street, Marty-B.
England, USA coming up.
And, of course, our producer, Devin Tingle, for taking care of everything. We go out to the rate. On behalf of these guys, it's been a great show. If you missed any portion of it, check us out on Facebook Live. And, of course, we're on Comcast on Wednesday, 7 p.m., Channel 17, Channel 19, Channel 35 in the northern suburbs. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you again next Sunday, 6 o'clock sharp on WCPT, 8:20 a.m. Gabe Salgado, do what you do, man.
TRS60 Sports Update.
Live from Guaranteed Rate Field is sponsored by the Monster Education Foundation. The White Sox hang on to a 4-3 win over the Minnesota Twins. The game has just ended here. Yohan Moncada hits a 2-run homer. Lucas Giolito gets the win, his 4th win in his last 6 starts. And before the game, it was announced that the team will finally call up right-hand pitching prospect Dylan Cease from the AAA Charlotte Knights. He's expected to pitch in Game 1 of Wednesday's doubleheader against the Detroit Tigers. And before the game, White Sox manager Rick Renteria outlined what will be expected of him.
I think he's done a really nice job of, just gathering more knowledge down there and getting his innings in. Obviously, this will be a situation now where he comes in here and has to perform.
This update is sponsored by Monster Education Foundation, MEF, empowering the next generation of leaders. For more information, go to monstereducationfoundation.org to learn more. I'm Gabe Salgado, live from Guaranteed Rate Field for the Rewind Sports 60 and WCPT 820, Chicago.